What is going on, you guys? Brandon here, aka Brawad, bringing you a brand new NBA video. And unless you've been living under a rock for the last few weeks, then you know that James Harden, he's gone. He wants out of Houston. He does not want to play for the Rockets anymore. They brought in John Wall. They brought in DeMarcus Cousins. They signed Christian Wood. No. James Harden wants out. So in today's video, we are going to go over some teams that James Harden can potentially be traded to and what those trades would look like. If you are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button because we are trying to grow the Brawadist NBA channel and I want you guys to be a part of it. Without further ado, James Harden, where you going? So there was a report this morning that James Harden has a list of 4 teams that he wants to be traded to. That list includes the Miami Heat, the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Philadelphia 76ers. We're gonna go over those 4 teams today, starting with the Milwaukee Bucks. Man, Giannis and James Harden on the same team? You got Giannis's defensive abilities mixed with James Harden's offensive skills. That has all the makings to be a championship team. James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo, or as Flight would say, Okumpo. That sounds like a great duo. A duo that would be very hard to beat in the playoffs. But there's one problem. You're not offering the Rockets Chris Middleton and getting James Harden in return. I just don't believe the Milwaukee Bucks have the assets to pull this trade off. It is going to take a lot to trade for James Harden. And I just, as fun as it would be to watch him play in Milwaukee, I don't think the Bucks have the assets to pull a trade off like this. Next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this James Harden to Brooklyn Nets talk has been the most talked about out of any other team. Philly, Miami, Milwaukee, Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the one team that you have heard that they've actually had discussions with Houston about James Harden. They've actually been in talks together. So this pairing, James Harden going to Brooklyn, this actually has some real steam behind it. It's not just a made up rumor. Now, here's the problem. With the Houston Rockets acquiring John Wall in a trade and signing DeMarcus Cousins this offseason, that tells me one thing. They don't want to rebuild. They're trying to win now. They don't want to go the route of acquiring a bunch of draft picks and young unproven players to start a new era after James Harden. They want to trade James Harden for someone that could help them win right now. That's what I'm taking based on how their offseason went. I could be wrong. To further prove my point, they have turned down every Brooklyn Nets offer because they want either Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant in a trade for James Harden, which again, further proves my point that they're trying to win right now. Because if the Rockets were choosing the rebuild route, Brooklyn would honestly probably be able to give them the best package. Because what a package from Brooklyn is probably going to look like for James Harden is going to be Caris LeVert, underrated. More people need to know about him. Caris LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, and a couple of first-round picks. Those are 3-4 young players plus draft picks. Not to mention one of those young players, Caris LeVert, has shown star potential. So if the Rockets were going the rebuild route, I think Brooklyn and Houston would have already had a, how do you shake hand? They would have already had a deal done and Harden would be in Brooklyn with his boy KD. But the fact that the Rockets are trying to win now is what makes it hard because Brooklyn doesn't want to get rid of KD, obviously, and they don't want to trade Kyrie for Harden. Okay, can I just say something? This is like on a side note, completely like whatever. But if I was the GM of a team, I'm trading Kyrie Irving for James Harden. Like, call me crazy, make fun of me or whatever, or agree with me, I don't know. But if I had Kyrie Irving and James Harden demanded a trade and Houston said, hey, we'll give you James Harden, but you got to give us Kyrie. Like, I'm not saying anything other than the fact that I would give Kyrie away and I would take James Harden because in my opinion, James Harden and KD, ooh. But anyways, yeah, I guess Brooklyn is not going to trade Kyrie. So I don't know, it's kind of tough unless Houston changes their stance and instead of trying to win now, they go for the rebuilding route, in which then I think Brooklyn has a real chance at getting James Harden. So we move on to the next team, the Miami Heat. Wow, can you imagine going to the NBA Finals, being a few games away from winning a championship, and then adding James Harden the next season? Can you imagine that? That would be nuts. Does Miami have what it takes to acquire James Harden? They would definitely have to put Tyler Hero on the table and stop. If you are about to comment, Miami would not trade Tyler Hero for James Harden. Stop. I'm going to save you guys the trouble. Stop right there. You are absolutely crazy, delusional, out of your mind if you think Pat Riley would not trade Tyler Hero for James Harden. Tyler Hero has the potential to maybe one day be a very, very special basketball player. James Harden already is a very, very special basketball player. You see what I mean? One of these players could maybe, if everything goes as planned, on the best day, end up like James Harden, whereas James Harden already is James Harden. So yes, the Miami Heat would trade Tyler Hero for James Harden, and to be completely honest, it wouldn't even be a one-for-one trade. They would have to throw in picks. So to all you Miami Heat fans that are probably going crazy right now and want to punch me right here, right in the jaw, I'm sorry to tell you, but Tyler Hero, although he played great in these playoffs, he still has a long ways to go to be a James Harden type player. With Miami, you also have to look at their championship window. I don't know if they could afford to wait for Tyler Hero to hit his prime, considering the fact that Jimmy Butler, the best player on that team, is in his 30s. Goran Dragic, another very, very important piece of that team, is also in his 30s. Tyler Hero, as big of a fan as I am of his game, it's gonna be a few years before he becomes a star player in this league. He's still a little skinny, he's still a little small, and he still has a lot to learn. So although I think Tyler Hero is going to be a great player in the future, I don't know if Miami's championship window is that long. Jimmy Butler is getting up there in age, not to mention he has a lot of mileage on his body playing for Tom Thibodeau earlier in his career. Goran Dragic getting up there in age, and he has a lot of injuries on his body. So I don't know if Miami's really serious about winning championships. You bring in a prime James Harden, even if you do have to trade Tyler Hero. Now, again, the same thing with Brooklyn. Does Houston want to rebuild? Do they want to take Tyler Hero? He has the ceiling. He has the potential to one day become a very, 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 very special basketball player. Now, do the Rockets want to trade based on potential and how high the ceiling is, or do they want to win now? That's the ultimate question. Moving on to the next team, the Philadelphia 76ers. They have what it takes. If they're willing to offer this, they have what it takes that will make Houston happy. The Philadelphia 76ers have one player that is not only good right now and can help the Rockets win games, but he's still young enough to where he has a ceiling that he can even grow even more as a player. And the player I'm thinking of is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, in my head, is exactly the player that the Houston Rockets want to trade James Harden for. Someone who could help you win games now and someone who could help you win games in the future. Do I think Philly wants to trade Ben Simmons? No. There's actually a quote from their GM openly saying he does not want to trade Embiid or Simmons. But I think when the pressure cracks a little bit down and the time really comes down to it, and you have Houston on the phone saying, hey, Philly, if you don't give us Ben Simmons, we are going to trade James Harden to Brooklyn or to Miami. And then Daryl Morey and the 76ers are really thinking, and they're thinking hard and long. And they're imagining James Harden with Joel Embiid. And they're imagining what can happen if those two are on the same team. And then they're imagining if we don't trade for James Harden, he's going to go to a team in the East like Brooklyn or Miami. And then Philly's going to have to beat James Harden instead of having him on their team. I really think, although Philly does not want to trade Ben Simmons, I do think that if it comes down to it and the pressure is on, I think they end up caving in and they end up trading Ben Simmons along with some other pieces for James Harden. Again, Philly, this is kind of like the Miami Heat situation for Tyler Hero. You guys, just like Miami loves Tyler Hero, Philly fans love Ben Simmons. And I think Ben Simmons is a great player as well. But you look at what you're trading Ben Simmons for, and you're not trading him for a piece of trash or a pile of dirt. You're trading him for a top 5 player in the league. You're trading him for scoring champ. You're trading him for an MVP of the league. And hey, you tried Embiid and Simmons. I'm not saying they don't get along, but clearly it hasn't resulted in a championship. Why not try something else? Why not try something new? So in my honest opinion, I think Houston will gladly take Ben Simmons for James Harden. Now it's just a matter of, does Philly want to give up Ben Simmons? If I'm Philly, I'm trading Ben Simmons for James Harden, and I'm a Ben Simmons fan, but James Harden is just that good. So I mean, Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, and Brooklyn, those are all teams that have a realistic chance at trading for James Harden. Although Milwaukee, in my opinion, that's going to be a little too tough. I don't think they can trade for James Harden, but hey, who knows? I don't know. I'm not an NBA GM, but if you ask me, I think it's between Miami, Philly, and Brooklyn. Philly being the most likely, in my opinion. I want you guys to comment down below. I want all you guys watching this video to comment down below where you think James Harden will get traded and what the trade will look like. All you guys watching this video, leave a comment. Where is James Harden going to get traded and what is the trade going to look like? Please, I want to read all your guys' comments. I love anything basketball. I love talking basketball. I love reading basketball, aka your comments. I love listening to basketball, podcasts, and all that stuff. I love anything basketball. So if you guys comment down below what you guys think, I will gladly read all the comments on this video. Other than that, that is going to close out today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy a little basketball video for the day. I didn't upload on my main channel, so I figured why not at least give them a video on this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, and let me know where you think James Harden is gonna go. Other than that, Brandon, aka Brawadis, I love you guys all, and I am out. Peace.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right.